the learning sciences, based on cognitive science and associated disciplines, have a tremendous transformative potential in our thinking about education. And in fact, it is the most underexploited source right now to renew our thinking about education. The most striking and counterintuitive lesson comes from studies of the infant, in which we discover that although the infant cannot directly express it, the infant has, almost from birth, a keen awareness of the knowledge which the caretaker is imparting to her. So the children are pre-programmed to be communicative, social learners. And so the terrain in which cognition, learning, teaching, and the social dimension and the emotional dimension all sort of come together the way we would want them to come together in the correct educational framework, it's all prepared in the child's brain. Cognitive science is especially attuned to what is known as 21st century skills. 21st century skills have to do with relating to others, collaborating, learning to learn, and so on. And on these topics, cognitive science is especially well prepared to provide answers. Not ready-made answers, but research questions on which we can make progress. Another area is, in fact, disabilities for the older child, so that in the areas of dyslexia, dyscalculia, children who just can't get the elementary arithmetics, and of course attention deficits, such deficits are very much taken into account, and there's a lot of new information, applicable information. And the big problem is to get that research out there so as to be operative in the field, in the educational setting. We need to foster this blended research which involves the communities of cognitive, neuro, and behavioral sciences, the community of teachers and educators, and the community of education scientists. These centers or networks, these frameworks will allow for the basic discoveries of cognitive science to become relevant and applicable in the world of education. Such centers already exist to some extent in the United States. They're called Centers for Learning, and there's a network of Centers for Learning which are funded by the National Science Foundation. Now, they seem to work. They're in the early stages, and they're networked together. I think that's a very promising start. Of course, we have to have similar centers in the various areas around the world. We must also directly act upon teacher education. And that's crucial that teacher education now takes into account these new approaches in the sciences of learning, in the basic sciences of learning.